Hi, this is Wendy from Lancaster Yarn Shop. Most good projects should have a story, and I'm finishing up a project that has a pretty good story, a typical story for me in some ways. So this is a pair of mittens that I've been knitting for over 2 years. They're a pattern that was picked out by my middle daughter, and she picked out the colors and the yarn. It's a gorgeous pattern. It was on Knitty, and it's called Chrysanthemums. It's a sort of a Latvian mitten. It's really a beautiful pattern. It has a pretty intense gauge. It's about 10 rows to the inch and about 10 stitches to the inch. So it's a long-term project, and it's gone through some, shall we call it, iterations. At any rate, I was finishing up mitten number 2 and remembering that I had dated the mitten for the year that they were intended to be given, which was 2012. I put a date here fully intending to duplicate stitch a 1 so that it would say 2012. Of course, when 2012 went by, I went ahead and, in an act of what I'm now calling extraordinary knitting hubris, I changed that 2 to a 3. Well, here we are in 2014. I'm not sure if I'm going to leave it or turn it into a 4. But as I was finishing up, I was working on this thumb, which is slightly modified from the pattern in several ways, actually. And I realized that I had kind of come up with this really fast and effective way to tink in Fair Isle, and I thought I would share it with you. So here, you can see I've got this kind of a weird stack of 2 DPNs in the stitches at the top of the thumb here, and what I've done is I've picked up the right leg of each stitch on the, what I'm going to call, tinking needle, and I'm just going to continue working across. But these stitches I'm finished with because they are just on the row above. So I'm going to take this one out, kind of push that one behind, and continue. I'll show you right here how to pick up the stitch below. So this is a nice sticky Shetland wool, so I don't worry about it a whole lot anyway. But if I just carefully go right here into the right leg of the stitch below, here's the brown one next to that, and I can even pop them off as I go. Here's the green one. We just take them each in turn. One more right here. Once they're off the needle they were on and onto the new tinking needle, you can just pop the stitches out by drawing back across, and we're back at the beginning of this row, and you can make whatever repair you needed to make. It's neat as can be, and it really, it worked beautifully. So instead of tinking back stitch by stitch, you just pick up the right leg of the row below, turn your work around, and resume your position, and begin to knit. Anyway, I hope your knitting has a good story. I hope I finish these by Christmas.